You can't judge people based on whether they know English or not, or whatever your language is. But you can judge them based on how they treat you. On my last day in Paris, I did meet both kinds of people, those who knew English and those who were nicer to me. Let me tell you the story. Hello again, this is Sunny and you're watching Sunny Escapades. We are talking about my trip to Paris and this is the last episode of this vlog because this is my last day in Paris that we are talking about now. So because I knew this was going to be my last day, I will be traveling back to London on this day, which meant that there will be a lot of walking around, a lot of traveling and a whole lot of hassle. It will be a long day, so I just took it easy in the morning. I had my breakfast in the hotel and then just relaxed. One of the activities that I had pending was to write those postcards that I had bought in Paris and did not send yet to my friends. Could not send them because the previous day was the 1st January, so the post offices were closed and I had to go to the post office to get the stamps and everything. In Paris, you can't find the stamps. When I send postcards, this is one of the things that I learned. Every country is different. Some places you can buy the stamps from the shops where you can buy the postcard. Some places you can't. So, and there are some slight different changes in stamps prices and stuff like that as well. So it's always a good exercise. So I wrote those postcards sitting down. My friend Surbi had her birthday in 2 days. So I wrote a postcard, like a proper card for her, which was in a nice jigsaw shape. What I did not realize was that it was not just a jigsaw shape, it was an actual jigsaw. So there was a small card which showed what the picture was supposed to look like, and there was the whole puzzle. So when I opened it, half of that fell down on the floor. So I had to pick it up and then solve that upper half of the picture to actually get it back together. But yeah, it was alright, I had time. And then once I had the cards and everything written down, then I started packing, which took me like half an hour only, because even though I've been living here for 4 days, I pack light, and when you pack light, it's much easier to pack when you are leaving the place. So left the place, got out. It was a little bit moist, like very rainy kind of weather today. So it was not fun, but well, what can you do? Some rain must fall into each life. So this time I was trying to find the post office and I looked around on the map also, Google Maps, could not understand where it was trying to take me. So I took some wrong direction first, came back to the same little junction near my hotel. Then I saw somebody who was looking at me, French person, French guy, but he was looking like he looked kinder. He had a kind face. So I'm sure you know what I mean. So I felt encouraged to ask him. Otherwise, generally in Paris, you don't want to go asking people for directions, especially locals. But so I asked him in my very broken down French, as in like, where's the posta? And he pointed me in the right direction. He did not speak English at all. So he spoke in French, but you know when you're giving directions to somebody, then you point with your hands. So he pointed in the direction, like this direction, go to the end and then turn right, and then from this point, like at this point is the post office. Okay, I think I got it from there. So then I walked down the street based on his directions after saying merci, of course. And yes, his directions were perfect and I had got that right, even though it was like a language barrier. So this is what I mean, that you don't have to know the language to be nice to somebody. And this is gonna be a theme for this, so keep listening, keep watching. So I could find the post office exactly as he had pointed out. Went into the post office. It was only open for half a day today, so it was okay. I had time. It was so there was somebody at the counter, and I had rehearsed in my mind as to what I'm gonna say, like je voudrais envoyer la carte de postale. So like these postcards, I want to send these postcards. I would like to send these postcards, and he got that. But I did not know that there were intricacies in sending postcards in Paris. And also, there was one more thing. There was a little scarf that I had bought for Surbi, which I wanted to send from Paris because I knew it would not get there in time, but at least she would get it from Paris, something that's bought from Paris and sent from Paris. And you know, we all enjoy these little things. So I thought, okay, I asked him to, like, I need to send this scarf as well. So he showed me this machine, And I would preface this by saying that I am a software engineer. I work with computers all day, every day, and I have been doing that for years and years. But this machine was a little bit complicated. Okay, so it was a big machine like a printer. I did print stuff as well, and you had to put a lot of stuff in there to be able to send things. So the one kindness that guy did for me was that he changed the UI to English, and then he put in whatever information he could put already before, and then he handed it over to me like, okay, you can put the address and everything. And oh my God, how much detail that machine needed, like my address, postcode, Paris address, by the way. It needed a Paris address to send it from, my address in UK, and everything was in a different interface. So it's still in English, but you had to go, okay, click here, click here, click here. Oh, how do you select this? I can't find this address. Oh, took a long time. And then somewhere in there, I had cards in my hand, which I put on top of that, and the top of the machine was the scale. So that changed stuff. I had to cancel it and start over. Now, in starting over, one stupid thing I did was that now I managed to go through the whole process again and put all the addresses and everything. I put my hotel address for my Paris address because I didn't have any permanent Paris address. And after that, I found that I had done all of that but not sent the postcard, because when he gave me the machine, he had already put the stuff for the postcards, the 8 tickets and everything. Whereas when I did cancellation again and then started over, it was like, man, have you ever done this kind of thing? Like when you're trying to do some normal activity in a foreign country, but you just can't do it. You feel so stupid. Comment down below and let me know if you have had this kind of experience, because at that point I felt pretty stupid that I could not do a simple thing like sending post. But ultimately I did manage to send the scarf with the package and everything, and then I realized that I have not paid for the postcards. So then I asked the guy again, and this time there was somebody else also there, and this guy knew a little bit more English. And then he was able to tell me, okay, no, go back to that machine and then do this. But I feel like from the attitudes that the first guy who did not know English was a bit nicer. He was more patient with me, even though we were, communicating across a language barrier. He was a little bit nicer to me. Still, anyway, the thing got done, and I left there at 1:05. I'm telling you this time because at 1 o'clock the post office shut, and when I left, there was a lady who had shut the shutter, outside shutter, and then when I wanted to get out, she had to lift the shutter, press the button, and so to let me out. Otherwise, the post office had closed for that day. Okay, I will add the final thing about this here, which I learned much later, about like 3-4 weeks later. I got an email that it was in French, but I got the gist of it, that my parcel could not be sent. It was returned from the sender or something like that. I don't know why or how, because I asked my friend and she had not received anything. Nobody in her house had received anything like this, so I don't know what happened. But Paris post, fail. Postcards were okay. Postcards reached the destinations, but not the scarf, which was a shame. The post was also quite expensive there. It was, let me tell you, it was 1783 euros, 17 euros 83 cents for just to send the scarf. It's quite light, and just between you and me, don't tell Survey, but it was more expensive than the scarf itself. And then it was 450 for that one birthday card, which was heavy card with the jigsaw puzzle, and for 15 euro 90 for those 8 stamps for sending the 8 postcards. Okay, so it was like a bit expensive trip to the post office. That was done. Then I wanted to find food after that because it was lunchtime and I was in the mood for some crepes, but did not find any. I walked around a lot in the rain. It was raining, which was not nice. But anyway, so ultimately I saw an Indian restaurant which was called Etwal the Kashmir Star, basically. So I went in there. They did not have much space. They were pretty full at the time. There was one table just by the door near the wet umbrellas. I was quite soaking wet as well by this time, by the way. Did not have an umbrella. I had a rain resistant jacket, not rain proof. So I was a bit soaked. My bag was soaked and everything. And I was carrying one backpack, which was also wet by now, and I was dragging one suitcase, small suitcase, cabin bag size, but that was also right by now. So they gave me that one table near the door, gave me the menu. There was not much in the menu for a vegetarian, but also the whole attitude. You hear about the French waiters being rude and everything. This was an Indian restaurant, and still and I am Indian by face as well, you can see, but still I did not like the attitude that they had, especially when I asked for vegetarian. Oh, yeah. So, well, I did what I could do. I got up with as much dignity as I could muster in my wet clothes and left the place. So, kept walking around to try and find some other place, cafe, restaurant, whatever. Finally, I settled on this. There was a little road. There was a long road where there were lots of these restaurants and stuff. I could check the menus and all. So finally, I settled on one called Paradis de Fruit Paradise, I think it would be. And that was nice. So I could see from the window they had some space as well. So walked in, got a seat by the window, parked my bag and suitcase there. And once again, I had wait staff that did not speak much English, but they were really nice. So the girl who was waiting on my table, she was very lovely. She did not speak a word of English, but she gave me the menu and I was able to, piece together as to what I wanted. So I trying to remember. Yeah, I had banana pancakes and cafe au lait. So just milk coffee. I did not find my favorite latte macchiato in Paris, but wherever I had coffee, it was nice coffee. Including this place, it had very nice coffee. And of course, I like the staff. The girl was really lovely. She did not speak a word of English, but she was lovely. She smiled and she got my order right and everything. So again, I would say you can't judge with people based on what languages they speak, but how they treat you, sure. And the bill was also very reasonable. It was like 13 euros for the whole thing. So it's like pretty good for a normal commercial space. So this was the same area where I had been the previous day, like the Moulin Rouge area, not that road, but like some nearby road there. So after that, I thought, okay, let's start making our way back to the airport because that's going to take some time and it's better to be earlier there rather than late. So I bought a metro ticket on the phone, went to the station, and then instead of going to the Saint-Lazare station, which I was going to, I went to the Liège station by mistake. And in Paris, the rule is that within 90 minutes, you can change to any rail, metro, bus, anything you need within 90 minutes on the same ticket. So I could take another. So I walked to Saint-Lazare and I could take the train from there. So it was kind of a long walk within the station. So Saint-Lazare is a very big station. Keep that in mind when you're there, that you will struggle to find your place. So just be very careful inside and pay attention to the signs and everything. So ultimately I found that number 14 train, several sets of stairs and escalators and all of that. Then it was about 12 stops to the airport. So Orly airport. And but it was good because it was not very crowded, so I got seat after a few minutes and then I was sitting the rest of the way. There was a little kid in a pram with his parents and he was talking like fluent French to his mother. And I was like, oh my god, I am so dumb. I can't even speak as good French as that little kid is doing. He can't even walk properly yet. He doesn't even go to school. Oh man, do you feel that sometimes? Even though I know it was not my fault. I did not grow up in France, but that kid made me feel a little bit dumb. Like he could speak much better French than I could. He was very fluent. Anyways, I got to the airport about 3:30. I found the gate. Orly airport is quite a big airport. One good thing is that because it's not the main Charles de Gaulle airport, the flights there are quite cheap. But keep in mind, it is still a pretty big airport. There are multiple terminals. I walked around on Terminal 2 so much because on my boarding pass, the terminal was printed Terminal 2, which was wrong. I had to go to T3 and there was again lots of walking inside. So you get a lot of exercise if you're in Paris. But after that, it was okay. So my flight was quite on time. It was uneventful, which is how I like my flights. No turbulence, anything. I just read my book, I was reading at the time, which was the 4-hour work week. It's just a 45-minute flight, which is quite okay. So after that, it was just like more normal to going to King's Cross. I was very early because I always allow some time for the flights being late. So between my flight and then going from there 1 hour journey by train to King's Cross and then my train from King's Cross to Doncaster, so I take more time. That I allow at least 3 hours, about 2-3 hours, so that if my flight is about an hour late, I can still get there without any stress. And that is my secret for not getting stressed during travel. I do get stressed, like in my next trip, which I'm going to start talking about in the next episode, to Iceland. I did get stressed there, but there were different circumstances there. You will find out. So yeah, from there I was just at the airport. So my favorite time pass is to open ChatGPT and talk to it on the voice, and then just do whatever direction it takes. So usually it goes into some productive direction. So while I was there, I was just like I was programming a web app with ChatGPT's help while I was walking around on the King's Cross. Next time I decided next time I'm gonna take first class train ticket so that I can spend the time in the lounge rather than on the concourse. After that, it was just like a simple thing: take the train, relax, call the taxi from the train, all good. Next, this is going to be this much, and the next one is going to be about my trip to Iceland, which was kind of an inevitable trip because I'd been trying to do it for a long time, but it was also a very ill-fated trip. So many things went wrong and so many hardships I had to survive. Learned a lot from there. So if you want to learn from my mistakes, listen to the next one. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss these episodes. And we do publish a lot of nice videos with lots of tips and tricks as well. So yeah, what does it take? It's a free thing. Go and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and share and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye bye.